Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. My dear and respected brothers and sisters, let me introduce myself. My name is Hakeem Maeno, coming from Japan, and I am a company employee at Japanese company and voluntarily one of directors for Japan Muslim Association, and I am seconded in my work to a friendships association called Japan Saudi Arabia Society, as well as Japan Kuwait Society, as managing director and secretary general. Embraced Islam in Japan at January 12, 1994, after coming back from Melbourne, Australia, having been studied over there about a year as an exchange student in senior high school. My first encounter to what is called, it wasn't a true Islam, but something called Islam was through media. The media which was showing, for example, the sceneries of war between Iraq and Iran, and that made me wonder how in the world people in the same faith have to, fight, but make battle against each other. So what kind of fanatic, horrible religion is Islam? Is that? That's the first image I got through the media. The breaking point to investigate, actually to search, to look for Islam, I did it once. After giving up becoming a Buddhist monk, I continued my quest and research for searching for the truth through reading books, comparing Buddhism with many religions in the world, and told myself, if you want to be fair enough, of course you have to look for, and study for Islam, because Islam was considered to be one of three biggest religions in the world. So I had to do so. But then when I picked up a couple of books on Islam, it was written by some Orientalists, who look at Islam from outsider point of view, and in order to twist the image of Islam. So when I took those books and then started reading, I told myself, you see, just as I thought, it was written about Islam as horrible, fanatic religion. Well, because I once determined to become a Buddhist monk after the awake of my ego, myself, my nafs, and then started asking myself, where did I come from? Where am I going to? What am I living for? I was always searching for the true religion which influences the life of human beings completely, fully, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. So that is Islam. So the biggest aspect which grabbed my heart in Islam is the how do you say, it's called in Arabic, shumuliyah, the entireness, the wholesome teaching of Islam, which do not separate life and faithful life and daily practical life, where other religions do separate the faithful life and the daily lives. Before my reversion, it wasn't really information. Because I had an encounter. I met a Muslim family in Melbourne, Australia, where I was studying, and they were migrants from Egypt, and they were the one who gave me the beautiful, wonderful image of Islam and Muslims. So through dealing with them, the biased viewpoint against Islam, which I had strongly, slowly melted away. Well, of course, after making my first sajda, praying to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, returning back to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, I consider the night of 12th of January 1994 as the exact timing when I returned back to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Although the way I prayed wasn't proper enough, because I, after that, straight away went out to make an international call to let that Egyptian family know that I embraced Islam. So they sent me an introductory book on Islam, and then I was speaking with them. However, to get to know about Muslims, local Muslims in Japan, it took me a month to reach them. Well, so as I think most cases of reverts or converts, because we all human beings are given the heavenly nature, Fitra. So when we are lost because of the environments we brought up, when we are lost in to whom we face to, who is Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, who is supposed to be Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, whatever we do in search of having joy or present pleasures or whatever, we always feel something lacking. We don't fully satisfied because we are in a state of loss. We are like a lost child. Lost child want to meet desperately to his or her parents. So that was the missing feeling, yes. So before and after Islam. Before embracing Islam, as I told you, I had such biased viewpoint against Islam. I used to really believe Islam was such fanatic, horrible religion. I used to believe Muslims were crazy people. And that was how I was believing, because of the corrupt image which the media give you. And to the extent when I was, for example, having some Japanese food which is not lawful one in Islam, before becoming a Muslim, with some Checo friend in Australia, Melbourne, I was speaking with him, laughing against Muslims, astaghfirullah, telling each other, how Muslims are pity that they can't eat those food or something like that. So to that extent, I was away from Islam and looking at Islam as something very horrible. But then after becoming Muslim, of course I started taking Islam as the way of my life and the posture which I stick to. For some time after embracing Islam, although I told them my story of becoming a Muslim from A to Z, they somehow misunderstood. So it was okay in the beginning. But then when the social problem happened in Japan, beginning of 1995, when some crazy, fanatic religious cult people believing in so-called Olmu, which is a mixture of Hinduism and Buddhism, people in Japan took the understanding and image of having a faith whatsoever is so dangerous because of that incident. Although that was nothing to do with Islam and Muslims, and then here we go. Because people in general are, they reject what they don't know. And as you may know, the distance between Islam and Japanese people and the history of Japan has been very distant, very far away. So people in Japan in general do not know about Islam except through the media. So the image the common Japanese have for Islam is either black, in sense of very negative, or either blank, without anything, without knowing anything. Well, I would say, just I told myself at the beginning of studying about Islam, looking at Islam sincerely with my own eyes. I told myself, I was at the age of 18 that time, I told myself, no matter how you believe that what you believe as your life philosophy is the best and true, you cannot say that completely unless you study about Islam properly, because Islam is being believed by billions of people. So you cannot deny that unless you properly study it. That's how I told myself, and then took those biased viewpoints against Islam from my heart. Say to those who are sincerely wanting to study, to know about Islam, please do not depend on medias, don't depend on others, but try to look at Islam with your own eyes and with your own mind, intellectual. Please use your mind and heart to study about Islam and judge it with yourself. Then I would say that if you were one of my brothers and sisters in Islam, please remember me in your prayers, and please pray for the parents, for our parents, for parents of my wife, for the parents of the people like myself, the reverts and converts, who are, most cases, still not yet embracing Islam. And please, I would congratulate you and even remind you to celebrate yourself for how much you are being blessed and loved by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, that you have been given, you have been born into the family of Muslim families, which is the greatest gift to have, to start your life with the faith of Islam and Muslim environment, which is truly the greatest gift, second to none. So please taste it and enjoy it, and try to spread the words of Islam. Thank you. And for those, if you were non-Muslims but somehow interested in knowing Islam, hopefully you would take, thank you for listening to this, watching this, and hopefully you take this as a kind of opportunity to look at Islam without depending on anything else. But please listen to your heart. Trust yourself, because we are all given the heavenly nature which direct us to the truth.